Jesus, man, Westerberg finally got one of these things, and I'm not gonna blow it.
You're employed as a security guard in the lobby. Is that correct, Brown Sugar?
Yeah, JD, what's up?
Oh, sorry, Hooch. We were just talking about the movie.
No biggie. Happens all the time.
Well, that's odd. I distinctly remember you dancing around the lobby singing, "My sister got a groom, I got my own room."
What if the man who made millions laugh had a past that could have ended everything before it even started? The year was December 1991. A young actor with a promising career was about to make a decision that would change his life forever. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Born on February 14, 1968, in Kampala, Uganda, Philip David Lewis entered the world under extraordinary circumstances. His father, Delano Lewis, wasn't just any diplomat. He served as the Associate Director of the Peace Corps, stationed in Uganda and Nigeria, and would later become the U.S. Ambassador to South Africa from 1999 to 2001. Growing up in diplomatic circles meant young Phill witnessed cultures colliding, languages blending, and the weight of representation from an early age.
Miss Martin would be happy to oblige such an important guest who brings so much business to the Tipton Hotel.
When the Lewis family returned to the United States and settled in Washington, D.C., something sparked inside the young boy. At just 11 years old, Phill won a role in Storyville at the historic Ford Theater. The applause, the lights, the transformation into someone else entirely, it hooked him instantly. But the road to stardom was anything but smooth. In 1986, Phill received recognition that would validate every dream he'd ever had. President Ronald Reagan awarded him a Presidential Scholar in the Arts Medal, an honor given to the nation's most distinguished graduating students. The kid from Uganda who fell in love with theater had just been recognized by the President of the United States. The late 1980s saw Phill taking his first steps into Hollywood. He appeared in minor roles on shows like Hill Street Blues and 227 in 1986.
I ain't done nothing. He died all by himself. I ain't got nothing to do with it.
Where's my boy? Okay.
Where's my boy?
Then came 1988, and with it, his film debut in the cult classic Heathers, playing Dennis.
It's more tasteful than it sounds.
I don't know, Dennis. This stuff leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
The dark comedy about teenage self-unalivings and social hierarchies became a touchstone of 80s cinema, and Phill was part of it.
By 1991, he landed his first starring role in the sitcom Teach, playing the title character Teach Gibson. For the first time, his name was above the credits. He was the lead. The show might have been short-lived, but it proved Phill Lewis could carry a series. Casting directors took notice. Guest spots on popular shows started rolling in. But then came December 1991.
Late one night, Phill got behind the wheel after drinking. His blood alcohol level measured 3 times the legal limit. What happened next would haunt him forever. He struck another vehicle head-on. Isabel Duarte, a resident of Bethesda, Maryland, died in that crash. The promising young actor was arrested and charged with manslaughter and driving while intoxicated. The court found him guilty. The sentence? 5 years in prison. Everything he'd worked for, everything he'd dreamed of, seemed to evaporate in an instant. His career was over before it truly began, or so everyone thought. Inside prison, Phill made a choice. Instead of letting bitterness consume him, he joined a prison-based theater troupe. They performed in jails, schools, and churches, delivering a powerful message about the devastating consequences of drug and alcohol abuse. His performances behind bars showcased raw emotion that came from genuine remorse and understanding. The judge took notice of his commitment. His sentence was reduced. After serving just 1 year, Phill was released with 2 years of probation and 350 hours of community service still ahead of him. He walked out of that prison a different man, carrying the weight of a life lost because of his actions. Here's where most people would have given up. The stigma, the guilt, the industry's notorious lack of forgiveness. But Phill Lewis wasn't most people. In the mid-1990s, he returned to acting. Guest appearances on Sister Sister, Married with Children, Sparks.
Okay, hold it right there. What are you doing?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Small roles, sure, but he was working. He wasn't hiding from what happened. He owned it, carried it, let it fuel a deeper understanding of his craft. The late 1990s brought meteor opportunities. He appeared on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Friends, playing Chandler's boss, and landed a recurring role as TC on the Wayans Bros. His comedic timing sharpened. His presence on screen became undeniable. In 2001, Phill appeared in the comedy City Slickers alongside Billy Crystal. That same year brought more recurring television work on Scrubs, where he played Hooch, a character so memorable that the show ran a recurring joke about how crazy he was. Ask any Scrubs fan about Hooch, and they'll tell you one thing: Hooch is crazy. Between 2002 and 2005, his resume exploded with guest appearances. Ally McBeal, Joan of Arcadia, 8 Simple Rules, Lizzie McGuire as Principal Tweety, How I Met Your Mother. He wasn't just booking jobs, he was creating characters people remembered. Then came 2005, the year everything changed. Disney Channel approached him with a script for a new show called The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. The role, Marion Mosby, an uptight hotel manager with an extensive vocabulary, impeccable diction, and absolutely zero tolerance for the twin terrors living in his hotel. Phill brought something special to Mr. Mosby. The character could have been a one-note authoritarian, but Phill infused him with humanity. His comedic delivery, his physical reactions, the way his voice would climb an octave when the twins drove him to the edge, it was perfection.
It's great to be involved with this camp. We get, a number of extremely talented kids.
What Phill reveals in this interview tells you everything about his approach to the role and his relationship with the cast. The Sweet Life wasn't just a job, it became family. The show became a massive hit. From 2005 to 2008, it dominated Disney Channel's lineup. Kids across America rushed home from school to watch Zack and Cody wreak havoc while Mr. Mosby tried desperately to maintain order. Behind the scenes, Phill formed bonds that would last a lifetime, especially with Brenda Song, who he refers to as his other daughter. Success brought new opportunities. In 2007, Phill made his directorial debut with the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody episode, I Want My Mummy. Transitioning from actor to director isn't easy, but Phill had been studying the craft for years. He understood pacing, timing, character development. The episode was a success. When the show ended in 2008, Disney wasn't ready to let go of Mr. Mosby. They greenlit The Sweet Life on Deck, a spin-off that moved the action from the Tipton Hotel to the SS Tipton, a luxury cruise ship. Phill reprised his role, now as the ship's manager rather than hotel manager.
I need you to do me a favor. Never make that noise again!
The show ran from 2008 to 2011, and Phill directed 8 episodes during its run. His directing career was taking off. Between 2011 and 2015, he directed episodes of Jessie, 9 episodes, Good Luck Charlie, 7 episodes, Ant Farm, Austin and Ally, Kickin' It. Disney trusted him behind the camera as much as in front of it. But Phill wanted more range. He moved beyond Disney, directing episodes of Mike and Molly, Two Broke Girls, 11 episodes from 2013 to 2014, The Soul Man, Sullivan and Son, Melissa and Joey, Young and Hungry. His comedy directing became sought after across networks. In 2015, Phill directed the live episode of Undateable, a technical challenge that required split-second timing and nerves of steel. The episode was so successful that it helped secure a 3rd season for the series. His biggest directing achievement came with Netflix's One Day at a Time. From 2017 to 2019, Phill directed 15 episodes of the critically acclaimed reboot. The show tackled serious issues: immigration, PTSD, LGBTQ+ rights, mental health with humor and heart. Phil's direction brought emotional depth while maintaining the comedy. Critics praised the show's handling of difficult topics, and Phil's work behind the camera was instrumental. Meanwhile, his acting career never stopped. He voiced Special Agent Wolfie on Special Agent Oso from 2009 to 2012, bringing his distinctive deep voice to children's animation. Guest appearances continued. That's So Raven, Phineas and Ferb, Raising Hope, Scrubs,
returning multiple times as Hooch. Film roles dotted his career too. I Spy, 2002, with Eddie Murphy and Owen Wilson, Surviving Christmas, 2004, Kicking and Screaming, 2005, Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2, 2011, and the indie Wish I Was Here, 2014, with Zach Braff. But something interesting happened as Phil's career flourished. He became more private. While many celebrities of his era embraced social media, building massive followings and sharing every moment, Phill took the opposite approach.
Do you have Twitter, Facebook fan page, website, any of that?
You know, I don't, and part of the reason is because I have no idea what to do with technology.
That admission speaks volumes. In an industry obsessed with visibility and online presence, Phill Lewis chose privacy. No Twitter account filled with hot takes, no Instagram documenting every meal. He keeps that separation between his public work and his private life. The reasoning makes sense when you consider everything he's been through. The tragedy in 1991 taught him about consequences, about what matters. Fame isn't the goal. The work is the goal. The relationships are what matter. Phill married Megan Benton Lewis, and together they have 2 daughters. He rarely discusses them publicly, protecting their privacy fiercely. In the interview, he mentions his daughters learning from his work, visiting sets, but he doesn't exploit them for publicity. The cast of The Suite Life remains close. Dylan and Cole Sprouse, now in their 30s, still exchange texts and jokes with Phill. They credit him with being a mentor during their formative years. Brenda Song stays in constant contact, having lunch with him every few weeks.
I definitely keep in touch with all the cast members. Brenda is probably who I keep in touch with most. We had such a great relationship on the show.
That genuine affection comes through. These weren't just coworkers. They became family, and decades later, that bond remains unbroken. His directing work continued into the 2020s with impressive consistency. The Odd Couple, One Day at a Time, Indebted, Superior Donuts, Marlon, Happy Together, The Cool Kids, Last Man Standing, The Neighborhood, iCarly Reboot, Alexa and Katie, The Upshaws, Netflix, The Really Loud House, Head of the Class reboot, and, more recently, the 2023 Frasier reboot. Each show brought different challenges, different tones, different casts. Phill mastered them all. His ability to balance comedy with emotional moments, to guide actors through difficult scenes while maintaining the show's rhythm, that's why he keeps getting hired. Voice acting became another avenue. Beyond Special Agent Oso, he provided voices for American Dad, King of the Hill, and Total Drama as DJ. Now, here's where it gets interesting for fans who followed his career. In October 2025, Variety exclusively reported that Phill Lewis would reprise his role as Hooch in the upcoming Scrubs reboot on ABC. That's right. After years of Hooch is Crazy becoming a pop culture reference, Phill is bringing the character back. The reboot brings together both new faces and original cast members, and Phil's return signals the show's commitment to honoring its legacy. He's also been announced for upcoming projects, including How We Became the Biggest Band, Night Court, the 2023 reboot, The Thundermans Undercover, Papa's House, Lopez vs. Lopez, and Bunked. The man stays working. His career spans nearly 40 years now, over 100 film and television credits as an actor, 55 television credits as a director. He's appeared alongside comedy legends, directed some of television's most beloved sitcoms, and created a character in Mr. Mosby that defined childhoods for an entire generation. But here's what makes Phill Lewis's story truly remarkable. He could have been a cautionary tale, the talented actor whose career ended before it began because of one terrible decision. Instead, he became a redemption story, not through flashy public apologies or media rehabilitation tours, but through consistent, dedicated work, through showing up, through taking responsibility and moving forward with purpose. The young actor from Adrian's Celebrity Actors Camp that he helps mentor might not know the full depth of his journey. They see Mr. Mosby, the Disney director, the working actor who's been in everything. What they might not realize is that the man teaching them about craft and perseverance learned those lessons the hardest way possible.
I certainly give my input creatively on what I think each kid has, the talent level that they may have, and then it goes from there through the process.
His work with Adrian's Celebrity Actors Camp isn't just a side project. It's Phill giving back, helping talented kids who might not otherwise get opportunities. He travels to different cities, evaluates talent, directs showcases, and genuinely invests in these young performers. It's a way of paying forward the second chance he received.
The question of net worth comes up often with celebrities. As of 2025, Phill Lewis's net worth is estimated at approximately $1.5 million. Some might see that number and think it's low for someone with such an extensive career. But consider this, he's not chasing blockbuster paychecks or franchise films. He's chosen a career path focused on consistent television work, both in front of and behind the camera. He's directing sitcoms, not superhero movies. He's doing voice work for children's shows, not starring in prestige dramas. That choice reflects his priorities: steady work, creative fulfillment, privacy, family. The career he's built allows him to work constantly while maintaining the boundaries he needs. Compare his approach to other Disney Channel stars from that era. Many chased bigger spotlights. Some crashed and burned publicly, others faded from view. Phill just kept working, kept directing, kept showing up. His relationship with Disney has been remarkably enduring. From 2005 to the present, he's remained in the Disney family through various projects. That kind of long-term relationship speaks to his professionalism and reliability. Disney is protective of its brand. They don't keep people around who create problems. The legacy of Mr. Mosby continues to resonate. Adults who watched The Suite Life as kids now introduce the show to their own children. The character's catchphrases, his exasperated reactions, his ultimately warm heart beneath the stern exterior, it all holds up. Phill created something timeless. But he's never been one to rest on past success. Even as he approaches 60, his schedule remains packed. The Scrubs reboot, new directing gigs, voice work, convention appearances, when he chooses to do them. He could have retired on Suite Life residuals and nostalgia, but that's not who he is. There's something profound about watching someone who faced the absolute worst moment of their life, a moment that took someone else's life, find a way to live with that, learn from that, and still contribute meaningfully to the world. Phill Lewis carries Isabel Duarte's memory with him. He doesn't talk about it publicly often, but it's there in the choices he makes, the causes he supports, the message he shares with young people about responsibility and consequences. His father's legacy as an ambassador and public servant clearly influenced him. Delano Lewis represented the United States abroad, navigated complex international relationships, and served with distinction. That example of public service, of using your position to make a difference, seems to have shaped Phil's approach to his own career. The industry has changed dramatically since Phill started. Streaming platforms dominate. Traditional sitcoms struggle for relevance. Multi-camera comedies face extinction. Yet, Phill adapts. He directs for Netflix, works with new platforms, embraces different formats. He understands that staying relevant means evolving. His directing style has been praised by actors he's worked with. He understands performance from the inside, having spent decades in front of cameras himself. He knows when to push actors, when to let them find their own way, how to create an environment where creativity flourishes. That combination of technical knowledge and emotional intelligence makes him valuable. What's next for Phill Lewis? With the Scrubs reboot bringing Hooch back and multiple other projects in development, his immediate future looks busy. But beyond that, he's mentioned interest in more dramatic directing, perhaps branching into hour-long drama or even film. The skills are there, the respect in the industry is there. Some actors from his generation desperately cling to their most famous roles, unable to move beyond them. Phill embraced Mr. Mosby while building a multifaceted career. He's an actor, director, voice artist, mentor, and advocate. The Suite Life opened doors, but he's the one who kept walking through them. His daughters are growing up now. One recently got her driver's license, which Phill joked about on social media, making a reference to the PR and DL from Suite Life. That rare glimpse into his family life showed his humor remains intact, and he can laugh about the show that made him famous. The relationships he maintains with his Suite Life cast members continue to surprise and delight fans. When they reunite, whether at conventions or private gatherings, the chemistry remains. They genuinely enjoy each other's company. In an industry known for fake friendships and strategic networking, that authenticity stands out. Phil's approach to convention appearances is selective. He doesn't do them often, but when he does, fans say he's gracious, funny, and present. He takes time with each person, creates real moments rather than assembly line interactions. Again, it comes back to quality over quantity. The voice of a generation of kids who grew up watching Disney Channel, Phill Lewis represents something increasingly rare, a celebrity who learned from his mistakes, took accountability, and built a career based on talent and persistence rather than controversy and publicity. No scandals, no public meltdowns, just consistent professional work.
His contribution to television comedy, particularly in the sitcom space, deserves more recognition. The directors who can make multi-camera comedy sing are becoming rarer as the format declines. Phill mastered it. His timing, his understanding of physical comedy, his ability to draw performances from young actors, all of it contributes to why shows keep hiring him. Looking back at that trajectory from 1991 to now, it's remarkable. From a career-ending tragedy to redemption through theater, to becoming one of Disney Channel's most beloved characters, to a respected television director working across multiple platforms and networks. That's not a straight line. That's a journey. The Adrian Celebrity Actors Camp work connects everything. The young actor who found purpose in a Ford Theater production at 11, the prisoner who found redemption through theater, the established actor giving back to young talent. It all circles back to the transformative power of performance.
They're not, they're both, pranksters and like to have fun, but no, they're both really good kids and hard workers.
When Phill talks about directing, you hear genuine passion. It's not just a fallback career or a way to stay relevant. He loves the craft, loves guiding actors, loves solving the puzzle of how to make a scene work. His work on One Day at a Time particularly stands out because the show tackled difficult subjects: immigration, mental health, LGBTQ+ identity. These aren't easy topics for a sitcom, but Phill helped navigate them with sensitivity while maintaining the comedy. That's sophisticated directing. The fact that he's still booking major television work in 2025 speaks volumes. This isn't pity hiring or nostalgia casting. He's genuinely good at what he does. Producers want him. Networks trust him. Actors want to work with him. So what can we learn from Phill Lewis? Maybe it's that one mistake, even a devastating one, doesn't have to define your entire life. That redemption comes through action, not words. That privacy in the age of oversharing is possible. That longevity in Hollywood requires adaptability, professionalism, and genuine talent. Or maybe the lesson is simpler than that. Maybe it's just about showing up, doing the work, being reliable, treating people with respect, building relationships that last, creating something that matters. From Uganda to Washington, D.C., from prison to the Tipton Hotel to the director's chair, Phill Lewis has lived a life that defies simple categorization. He's made people laugh, given opportunities to young talent, directed hundreds of hours of television, and created a character that will outlive him in reruns and streaming platforms. And through it all, he's remained remarkably himself. Private but not reclusive, successful but not showy, talented but not arrogant. Just a working actor and director who happens to have one of the more interesting stories in Hollywood. The next time you see Mr. Mosby pop up in your streaming recommendations, remember there's a real person behind that character. A person who's made mistakes and learned from them, who's built a career through persistence and talent, who's given back more than most people realize. And remember that Hooch is returning to Scrubs, which means Phill Lewis is still writing new chapters in a story that could have ended decades ago, but instead keeps going, keeps evolving, keeps surprising us. The man behind Mr. Mosby never needed to be a household name. He just needed to be good at his craft, reliable in his work, and honest about his journey. Mission accomplished.